bloody revolution, resistance under German occupation, Paris and Parisians have always defied convention and polarized public opinion, from romantic portrayals in movies like Midnight in Paris to stereotypes of Parisians being arrogant and rude. But what's Paris really like? Join us as we explore the center of the French universe and find out for ourselves. Our friend Gabby told us that there was going to be a strike for metro and railway workers. So I think that's what all those heavily equipped policemen were about, maybe anticipating things going south. Looks like we're about to walk into protest grounds where those cops are bracing for. So, this strike is happening because France and the national government proposed raising the retirement age by 2 years to 64, I believe. And people are not happy about it and are showing their contempt. I think this is like the third strike on this year. So hopefully everyone stays safe and people get their retirement age. We'll see. There's a big shopping mall here. I've heard that the Galerie Lafayette has some nice like architecture to it, so we're gonna pop in, warm up, see if we can see anything. I think this is it. Holy cow, that is amazing. Whoa. Not a bad mall, pretty nice. Wow. Honestly, this is a pretty cool place to just stumble on. We were just walking and I saw Lafayette, kind of remembered that it might be a nice little dome here, and boom, nice little dome. Hits you in the face. Made it to the roof of Galerie Lafayette. Terrace, pretty cool view. Well, that was cool. Pretty nice shopping mall, I guess. Didn't spend too long in there. I like the terrace view of the cityscape, and now we're gonna get a savory crepe. One thing I love here in Paris is how the diagonal streets force the buildings into these triangle shapes. See, there's like these little flat iron buildings everywhere.
Vous avez choisi?
Oui.
Oui, dites-moi.
Je vais prendre sucré salé.
Sucré salé, ok.
Petite salade.
Une petite salade.
Et je vais prendre la galette Saint-Malo.
Oui.
Une petite salade aussi.
Oui.
Et un chocolat chaud, s'il vous plaît.
Chocolat chaud. Ok. Merci.
Spotted this noodle guy. He's like making noodles in the window. Gotta show you. Check this out. That's so cool. It's a long noodle. One detail that I really appreciate here is these corner cafes. I feel like on the corner of every kind of panhandle building, there's a cafe with a nice awning and these like wicker chairs. Feels very unique to Paris, and I feel like when you see this, you just know exactly where you are. Something that struck me is how clean the city is compared to, let's say, Rome. I thought it would be much dirtier. I kind of heard that it's like a dirty city. Maybe it's just the 9th arrondissement, but so far pretty clean. I guess that makes sense since Edouard Poubelle famously standardized trash cans in Paris in the 1800s, and that's what a trash can is called in French, poubelle. So, thanks Edward.
avec les devrons, s'il vous plaît.
What do we think? How's the coffee?
It's really good, actually. So I don't know why this place is special or why it's all over Instagram. They have good branding.
What's it called?
Cafe Kitsune. I don't actually know how to say it, but this is a very good latte. Clothing stores here are so much nicer. First of all, there's like just way more small retailers, which I personally love, and the quality of the garments and the curation and like the aesthetic of each shop is just so much nicer than basically any other place that we've been to in Europe.
We are here at the Louvre. Everywhere you look are these beautiful buildings. I love all the statues on top of these pillars. Look at these guys on top. And obviously you have the famous pyramid right here. Iconic. Looks amazing. What do you think, Mary?
It's beautiful. This is it's just a similar sensation to being in Rome, where like the light hits the stone and it's like the building is breathing. It's just alive in the most beautiful way.
It's much bigger than I imagined.
I'd heard that it was very large, but even just being in like this complex, it's really striking how enormous it is.
Yeah. Well, steps away from the protest, we're now in front of the building that decided on what led to the protests. Here's the Assemblée Nationale. Pretty nice building. Nicely situated here on the Seine. You can see the Eiffel Tower. You can see the Louvre and the gardens. Not a bad spot to be a parliamentarian. Sort of French Institute, I assume now a government building. Where are we going now, Mary?
Le Deux Magots. It's a famous literary cafe where a lot of famous writers who lived and worked in Paris used to go, and now I think it's maybe a little bit like Coffee Disneyland, but we'll see.
It's probably the most famous corner cafe with an awning and wicker chairs in Paris so far. Here's a plaque to the victims of 9/11. French solidarity. There's this beautiful building too. It's the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I don't know what that building in the background is with the glass dome, but it is unbelievable looking. Gorgeous. And so are these statues. Look at that gilded statue on top, guarding the gates of the Seine here. And behind us, we have Hôtel des Invalides, which was originally a army hospital, like a veterans administration hospital. Later became, and currently is, the tomb of Napoleon, and it's also now a military museum. So it's pretty beautiful. I love these giant lawns in front of us that sort of magnify how epic the sacrifice of all the soldiers who would have been in this hospital made. And right now it just sets it up beautifully for the museum as well. It says some sort of Arabic looking script. I wonder if these were conquered and taken from a foreign land, now displayed here, I guess, as a trophy.
So if you look up at the roof, you can see this variation of a gable, which is a suit of armor, but then like the torso of the armor is a window.
This is really eerie. This courtyard is so massive, so beautiful, but also quiet. You You can almost feel the gravity of what this place was built for. Really beautiful and kind of chilling, honestly. So each of these cannons has a number, a name. It's the Uranie. How heavy it is. This one's 2,670 kilograms from a foundry in Strasbourg made by Jean Maritz. It's amazing. Really makes you wonder whether the markings we saw on those other captured cannons were saying something similar for the men from the Arabian lands. This is a grenadier who yelled, "Long live the Emperor," about Napoleon. And now he's standing a couple meters away for eternity. It seems like part of this structure is still actually a military hospital. I saw a sign there that said "Silence Hospital." I see 3 older men in wheelchairs. I'm happy that this monument can still be enjoyed by the living, because they sure do deserve it. We have an Estonian soldier here. Various military dignitaries. Unfortunately, there's still war in our time. Here, a couple steps away from the military hospital, is a military school for new recruits to France's armed forces. So I love Tintin, and in every European city we go to, I buy a Tintin book. This place has some Tintin figurines. So Tintin's been helping me learn French by giving me pictures and words to try and understand. I think these are like original editions. So I just walked away from Mary for a second to use the bathroom, and they have these mobile kind of bathroom units. I locked myself out of it by accident because I thought this thing that was a lock was actually like emergency exit. Come here, when this is green, press the button, it opens up, and then when you come out, it will close itself and wash itself for a bit before being vacant again. So, kind of cool. Self-cleaning public toilet. It's pretty nice, actually. So far, Paris stereotypes. I would say people so far very nice, especially when you talk to them in French, although we've gone into places where they've just switched to English for us. So I wouldn't say that you get a cold shoulder from everyone if you speak English. I'm sure there are people who will give that to you, but so far people are very kind, very nice. Speaking of which, we got another corner cafe with wicker chairs, and I love it. I just love though how all these buildings work together. It's so beautiful. Look at this. All have sort of similar tint, similar roof, and it all clicks together. It really looks like a city that belongs together, not a bunch of different disparate elements smashed together. Nothing more French than Despacito played on an accordion. We're here on the banks of the Seine. We ran into Gabby, local resident and tour guide now. Gabby, when was the Seine created?
Well, this is a long story. I don't have all the time to go over it.
It's beautiful here on the Seine. Tons of boats going by. We're back here in front of the opera. This is where all the protesters were before. Looks like they cleared out. Hopefully nothing too crazy went down. Bonjour. J'ai un petit problème avec mes lunettes. Une vis a tombé et je dois serrer ça.
Et voilà pour vous.
Merci. Combien ça coûte?
Rien du tout, c'est un service.
Merci, c'est gentil. Bonne journée. Au revoir. Just got a screw tightened in my glasses. It is new. Thanks, Paris. Very kind in there. They didn't even make me pay. Bonjour. Okay. Merci. Je vais prendre un julienne, s'il vous plaît. So we got a julienne, which is a little lemon tart. Looks really delicious. Actually, everything in there looked delicious.
This place is called Sucrecoeur, which is a play on words because we're close to Sacré-Cœur, which I think is very cute.
Sacré-Cœur is Sacred Heart, and this is Sugary Heart. First bite, let's see it.
Very heavy, honestly.
Oh, you can eat that bottom thing. I thought that was like a piece of like cardboard. Very graceful. Let me zoom in.
Whoa.
Yeah? Whoa? What's whoa?
It's so lemony, you're gonna love this. This
Yeah.
is like Trevor through and through.
The lemon is just so sharp. It's beautiful.
So sharp.
This is a lemon tart that I can get behind. Well, just walked through a bunch of high schoolers on their breaks. I've never seen so many high schoolers smoking. So that's sort of on brand. A lot of smoking.
Also sad, like
A little sad, yeah. I mean, not a little. Sad. But, you know, it's culture. Casino de Paris. For all your casino needs. It's a nice mosaic, actually, in the stained glass. Check that out. Also, there are these like street graffiti art things that are these pixelated Lego pictures. Kind of cool. Each place that has it denotes like what it's on. So this is on the casino, little jackpots.
I feel like I should have expected this, but one thing that Paris does really well is fonts. They have like a great variety of just really beautiful fonts.
How would you rate the style on the streets of Paris so far?
I'd say average is better than most places. It's not as like haute couture as I was expecting. I think the most stylish place I've ever been is still Verona. They still have a lot of fun. But people look sharp.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was saying everyone looks like smart, you know,
Yeah.
like just kind of
Like
put together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're in the Jardin de Tuileries. I don't know how to pronounce it. Buildings around here are gorgeous. Love it. You got hedges everywhere. You can see the Eiffel Tower in the background. And it's a nice, beautifully sunny day. It's cool. We're walking through these rows of hedges that are in these traditional French gardens, but it's the winter, it's February, so they're all sort of dead looking, so it looks very ominous. Another day, and the protests are now moved to in front of des Invalides. We have these tractors that are moving around and kind of forming a colonnade. They represent the Union of Agricultural Workers. It's pretty wild.
Mesdames et messieurs, oui, notre agriculture est en grande peine. La morosité est totale.
De soutien à l'ensemble des agriculteurs et l'ensemble des productions françaises. Merci.
Look at these tractors, man. This is amazing. They're making it known that French agriculture needs to be supported. The man up there talking to the protesters, saying that you're the people who are planting our seeds and growing our food, and so we thank you that you deserve to have a retirement and the benefits that you're provided. So pretty amazing seeing those tractors going around right next to Invalides, such a historic institution here with those beautiful gates. Interesting contrast.
I mean, I've never seen like over 100 tractors in the middle of a city. So definitely is an effective visual statement. So we are going to lunch at the Jules Verne restaurant in the Eiffel Tower, which is a Michelin-starred restaurant, and I want to give a quick shout out to Yvonne, my mother-in-law, for gifting us this lunch for Christmas. Yvonne! At noon, we have a reservation at the Jules Verne Eiffel Tower gastronomic experience.
Whoa.
Super excited to finally enjoy this meal, so thank you, Yvonne.
Our lunch in the Eiffel Tower at the Jules Verne restaurant was full of so many beautiful details and culinary surprises. We're making a whole video dedicated to the entire experience where we'll show you the restaurant and the amazing food we tried. So if you want to see the most romantic lunch spot in Paris, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss it.
Look at this view. Woo-hoo! You got the Seine right there. We got Champ de Mars right in front of us. And that's right there is where we sat, where we ate just seconds ago. Boy, was it nice.
It's amazing.
You can hear the protest that we saw earlier, and you can actually see the tractors there on the boulevard. So they're making themselves heard and seen today, while the elite up here eat their cake. The people down below show their displeasure. Seems like it's a tale as old as time in Paris. We're in the belly of the beast.
Did they call it the Iron Lady?
I haven't.
Thatcher?
Yeah, that's Margaret Thatcher. But it should be Le Tour Eiffel. There he is, guys. Derek Eiffel. With the wrench he built the tower with. Thank you, Derek. Ouais. C'est ça. That guy said the tractor is much more important than that tower. I said, that's right, that's it. So this is Grand Palais, or Big Palace. It's a museum, and even more interestingly, I think, is that it sits on Rue General Eisenhower, this street right here, named after American General and then President Eisenhower, who liberated Paris during World War II. And on the other side of it, we have Petit Palais, Little Palace, which, you know, for being the Little Palace, looks quite amazing. Mary, what do you think?
Gratuit entrance. It's free to go in.
I gotta say, so far, stereotypes of Parisians, we didn't see it. Everyone was very kind, very helpful and accommodating.
Yeah, I would totally agree. And I even feel like there have been a couple times where, I mean, my French is basically non-existent, so after, ordering a coffee, I basically max out. And people have been really sweet.
Well, it's around 8 a.m. and Mary is still sleeping, and she needed a little bit extra time to do some exercises this morning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the metro and visit the grave of Marquis de Lafayette. Should be an interesting adventure. Marquis de Lafayette was one of the founding fathers, really, of the United States. He was a Frenchman fought in the Continental Army for American independence. So I thought it'd be interesting to see his resting ground today. Let's do it. Going to be taking the Paris Metropolitan, the metro system. It's my first time down there. I've heard mixed reviews, so let's check out the underworld. Alright, here we go. Cool, so I'm going to Nation. Wow, Stalingrad, interesting. I did not expect to go through Stalingrad to get to Marquis de Lafayette's grave, that's for sure. Well, I gotta say, Paris Metro was not as bad as I thought. I mean, my first time. I'm sure a lot of things could go south when you're on the metro, but pretty clean compared to places like, say, compared to New York City. The trains were very modern. The Marquis de Lafayette, which was a title given to a man whose first name was Jalbert, or Gilbert in English. At age 13, became a commissioned officer and traveled to the United States because he thought the American Revolutionary cause was just. He became a major general in the Continental Army of the United States at age 19, and he was a decisive piece in the crucial Battle of Yorktown. And not only was he a founding father of the United States and a key part of the American Revolution, he was also a big part of the French Revolution. He actually wrote The Rights of Man along with Thomas Jefferson, which is the French equivalent to the Declaration of Independence. A really crucial player in two of the most important revolutions in world history. Really just an amazing impact for one human being to have during their lifetime. I want to see someone who symbolizes the connection that France and the United States have to one another.
Bonjour monsieur, je cherche le pont de cimetière, savez-vous ça?
C'est pas par ici, il faut sortir. Vous êtes entré par là?
Le cimetière,
c'est de la rue.
de l'autre, ok, à la gauche ou à la droite?
En fait, il faut sortir par l'hôpital.
Ah, okay.
Après, vous allez tout droit, et après, tournez à la première à droite.
D'accord, merci. Au revoir.
So, apparently I have to go through this hospital, exit through there, go around, and that's how I'll get to the cemetery. Got a little dead-ended here. Well, kind of a bummer. The cemetery is closed. It opens from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Sometimes this happens when you go exploring, doesn't go exactly to plan. But either way, glad I thought about Marquis de Lafayette, talked about him today a little bit, and in the end, I just wanted to talk about how he's actually buried under soil from Bunker Hill, which I think is beautiful. Laid to rest in Paris where his life ended, and buried under soil from the dirt that he helped make free. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna console myself for not being able to see the grave itself the only way you can in Paris, which is go eat some pastries. Just walking by this place to go to the pastry shop. I saw this on Google Maps a couple of days ago. I wouldn't have gone out of my way to see this, I don't think, but why not? This is the mural of Je t'aime. So the mural of I love you. Looks like you can see I love you in many different languages. Interesting. This makes me feel a little better. I got a pain au raisin, a little raisin swirl. Pretty damn good. Speaking of pastries, Mary and I wanted to see how Parisian bakers handled one of the most difficult baking challenges, baking a gluten-free pain au chocolat. So we ran around Paris and tried every single bakery in the city that was up to the challenge in one day. We even met some of the bakers and learned about their process, and of course, we stuffed our face and rated each place. Subscribe to our channel so you don't miss us going deep into this pastry challenge. After that adventure, Mary took us to see Rue Claire, a quintessential Parisian market street.
So the reason we came to Rue Claire was just to peek into the markets. There's a lot of great fruit stalls, fromagerie, charcuterie or butchers. And basically, this is a great place to come gather provisions for a picnic. We're doing a bit of a walking picnic and eating our chocolate on the go. But it's just a really quaint little market across like 4 blocks.
So one of the coolest shops that I've seen here on Rue Claire is Mariage Frère. It's a tea maker that's been here since 1854.
My best friend growing up used to travel to Paris a lot, and she would always bring back tea from this tea shop. So this place is sort of my first tether to Paris. And now I get to go myself for the first time. I'm probably gonna get some loose leaf here.
Ooh, what about Paris morning?
Madame Parisian. Oh my gosh. This smells like...
Oh my god, that smells like yellow Gatorade powder. Doesn't it?
It really
It really does. But it's good?
But the high quality Gatorade powder.
I guess this is like Gatorade powder. You put it in water and then you drink it.
That's right.
So, we just bought some tea. What did you get?
I feel a little guilty because I got Earl Grey, but it's French blue Earl Grey, and I really like that one.
I think I got an exotic one. I got blue tea, Marco Polo. So it's like, it's not green tea, it's not black tea, it's blue tea. I've never even heard of such a thing, but it looked totally different than any tea I've ever had. So I'm excited to try it. So this is not exactly French traditional food, but it does remind us of living in Montreal. This is Lebanese food and it looks glorious.
Everything was good?
C'était très bon.
Le repas, transportez-moi à Montréal. Ah, Montréal, direct.
My favorite fruit that we don't have in the US, red currant. See, this is something I've really noticed about Paris, that everyone makes an effort. Like, every person, every business has a share of Paris, and, you know, they just want to make it beautiful, whether that's assembling the radishes and the carrots in beautiful formations or having nice lettering on their business. It makes the place truly wonderful.
So I've seen this a couple of places, and it's basically like a set menu that a bunch of these different cafes have, and then they just write in their own pricing.
It's pretty neat. We know all the things you could sell. Here's what we do sell. Well, with tea in hand, coffee in hand, we're ready to check out the Orsay. Whoa. Look at this. This is amazing. Oh my God, look at that clock. That's amazing. Right here you have the Statue of Liberty. This is a copy of the real Statue of Liberty that was given by France to the United States. It's a smaller copy acquired by the museum. It's the opera. I love that clock. I feel like I'm the cat who plays with the box instead of the toy you buy it. There's like all this beautiful artwork here, and I like the clock. I like the art too. I love this polar bear. It's amazing. It's a good boy right there. That is one of the best portraits I've ever seen, truly. It's like serious and yet shows emotion. His eyes are really eerie. Here's the man himself, Charles de Gaulle. I remember seeing photos of him walking down the Champs-Élysées after the German occupation was defeated by the Allied forces. And I also read a book called Is Paris Burning? Talked about how Hitler had commanded the German military to destroy Paris, to blow up the Eiffel Tower, blow up the Louvre, and a German general, General Dietrich von Scholtitz, refused the order and in his own way saved Paris from destruction and allowed us to keep the Eiffel Tower. So thank you to all the Allied forces who made this freedom possible. Thank you to the people on the other side who showed restraint from absolute chaos and destruction. Paris is a beautiful city. You'll now stop, which is where the National Assembly is, or the French Parliament. And you can see all the regions of France here represented. Obviously mainland France is there. You have French Guiana, different islands, Pierre and Miquelon off the coast of Canada, and they all have representation in the French Assembly. We had a couple hours. Now we're gonna see the Arc de Triomphe before we leave Paris. Holy! Wow.
C'est belle, no?
So the Arc de Triomphe was finished in the 1830s. It was commissioned by Emperor Napoleon to commemorate those who died in the French Revolution and the Napoleonic Wars, and a lot of their names and of the generals and such are inscribed on the arch. Man, you can go to the top of the arch. I think you need advance tickets for that. It's cool that it's like a living, breathing monument. You got all these cars going around it. It's just traffic, honking, and then this giant monument right here in the middle of it. Well, I think it's fitting that we're walking past the Arc de Triomphe as we end our time here, because this whole trip has really been a triumph for us, honestly. It's been wonderful.
It's been amazing.
And I'm really excited to come back. But our journey does not end here. Come with us. We're going to the Alps tomorrow to ski and check out Trois Vallées. It's going to be amazing.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir.